And I tell you, Dave, it was such a lesson for me as a leader that I've carried for almost 40-something years. I hired John, and he went to the home office, and he flunked the final exam. And so I called up there in New Jersey, and I said, is he not working? He said, working? This guy's working harder than anybody. I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, he's not that smart. I said, well, I'm not either, so I'm not worried about that. So he comes home, and I give him Monday off. He'd been gone for 2 weeks, and I went down to Montgomery, and I said, all right, we're going to work with you. I'm going to work with you for the rest of the week. And I said, I'm going to start off. I'll make some calls, and then you can just, once I get the hang of it, you can do it. So the first call I make, we walk outside, and he says, I can't do that. I said, you can't do what?
He said he can't do that.
I can't do it. I said, what do you mean you can't? I can't do what you just did. I said, why? And he said, it's not my style. And I said, son, you ain't got no style. I'm here to give you style. So I made, I don't know, 6 or 7 calls that day. After every call, he kept saying, I can't do that. It's not my style. Next day, can't do that. It's not my style. At the end of that day, I said, look, you need to shut up because I don't want to hear this anymore. You've made it clear to me this is not your style. I said, but sooner or later, you got to learn style.
You got to learn style.
We were in Selma, Alabama the next day, and I told him, I said, look, I'm going home. I never contemplated that I would hire somebody so difficult as you. And he said, what do you want me to do while you're gone? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, you're going to be gone by the time you call me next Friday because I'm going to fire you. So I said, well, why don't you just get some orders? I mean, we just launched a new product. I was leading the country, I think, with $5,000 at rep a week. And I just said, get some of these orders, get some of these hospitals to stock it. So he calls me the next Friday. And I hadn't still figured out how to fire him. And he says, hey, what do you want me to do these orders? I said, what orders are you talking about? And he said, well, he told me to get these orders. I said, how much is it? He said, $26,000.
Unbelievable.
I said, I like your style.
What was it about his style? What's his personality like?
He said, you know what the difference between you and me? I'm not you. You need to let me be me. And I tell you, Dave, it was such a lesson for me as a leader that I've carried for almost 40-something years, that you have to let people be their authentic self. You can give them all the ideas in the world, and if they process them and do it differently than you did, it doesn't really matter. And so he taught me at a very early age that I have to let my people, he said, you're trying to make me you. I don't want to be you. I want to be my best me. And I thought, God, I never thought of that. So it was a huge lesson for me. And he's without doubt, one of the 3 best salespeople I've ever met in my life. And
what's QQuay doing now? What does he do now?
Well, he's retired, but he had about 6 years ago, he had stage 3 to be lung cancer.
Oh,
they gave him 8 months to live, and he's still going. And I told him when he got sick, I said, John, you beat a lot more than this. You just keep going. So now, we'll use him every now and again on a project where we're just doing some interviews and stuff because he knows my stuff better than anybody. But when I left, he became the boss. And within a month, he fired 3 of the people that I had working for me. I said, what do you hire these people for? He said, they're not working. I knew they weren't working. He said, these people had you snowed. So I said, okay.
He was confident in who he was. And
yes.
Just kind of like you, when you tell your story, you certainly had some grit to go through VMI and a football player, the discipline there, but 2.81 GPA, the coach, your style would be quite different from many other pharmaceutical,
I had great bosses. I had bosses that let me be me. I mean, what John was asking me to do is fundamentally what my boss did naturally. He let me be me. And so I learned that a long time ago. Anybody that works for me, I don't expect them to be like me. I expect them to have the same kind of drive that I do, that the same kind of desire to win, the same kind of desire to help customers. But other than that, I don't care what they're like. I mean, they're all different.